Hi. Hi. Oh, this hand? Hi. Both hands. Whoa. Come on in. Ooh, I just realized I'm blending with my blankets, my pillow. It's okay. You don't care if I just blend in, right? Because most of the time I seriously just stand out. It's okay. My earrings are standing out today. Look at these. These came from July's subscriber spotlight, which is Brenda's blingy treasures. These are my gorgeous, beautiful stars, my dusters. And yes, as you can tell, they come down to the collarbone. She has these guys. If you want them shorter, you can get them and take off the bottom two, or you can get them and just take off the bottom one. You can adjust them, right? But you know me, the bigger the better. I like them. They make me feel happy today. So yes, here's another video. And yes, I am wearing the same hat, but it's not the same day that I recorded the last one. I just happen to have this hat handy and I like it. How's that? Today, we're going to look at, I believe this is the fifth shop that I have presented to you. So I started with SuperBuys, and then I did SoldBySam, which I have more of both, which you will get to see a variety. So I'll show you more of both of those down the road in the coming videos. I did NVUSDeals and UltraAuthentic. So that's four that I've presented to you so far. And those four shops I still frequent. Those are like my kind of go-to shops. And I'll explain to you how I do that. But today we're going to go into shop number 5. This shop is referred to, or it's called Double D Treasure Barn. So on WhatNot, it's Double D Treasure Barn. Now the D stands for the owners. It's Doug and his wife, and I can't remember what her name is, but they also have 2 daughters that help them out. It's a family type of thing. It is random pulls. Uh, Kind of hard to tell you too much about it at this point, but I've done 2 orders with them. I've gotten 1.5 of those orders so far. I've received, there's still partial order that went in a second box that hasn't surfaced yet. But let's go over what I did receive, and I'll let you know what I think, the products of the shop, how I do my ratings, because you say, well, Connie, how do you come up with 5 stars? Well, I'll let you know how I do all that. So, and these are the points that you can look at when you're looking at a store. You can keep these 5 points in mind when you look at a store. So let's start with the very first item. This pillow, and I haven't even opened it yet, it is zip-locked. All right. This is looks to be a 12 by 12 pillow. Doesn't say, but from the looks of it, it's about a 12 by 12 pillow. Let me cut it open. Now, primarily their stuff comes from Target. They don't do Amazon pulls, they do Target. Oh, this thing just plucked up the minute I cut the bed. So yes, this is a 12-inch, 12 by 12. Kind of like a nice, this is an indoor outdoor. This is soft, but it has that feel. You can tell from it that it's like water repellent. It has a nice linen backing on it. These are obviously 12 by 12 because my sofa pillows are 18 by 18. You can tell the difference. Hello. But some of these are actually going to go, I don't really care what the outside looks like because they're a little smaller. I'm going to use this as a replacement filler because the price that I paid for this pillow, this sells, and I'll put the MSRP up on the screen. This sells for $12. One pillow sells for $12 at Target, but I paid half. I paid $6 for it. So $6 is a decent price for a pretty nice little pillow, right? It's pretty soft. Can you see how fluffy that is? That's pretty good. And it only just came out of the bag. I have no doubt it'll fluff up a little bit more as it's out of the bag a little bit longer. So let me set that over there. And then I also got a green one. I get this one cut open. This one is somewhat had a hole in the bag, so the pillow was already puffed up. But this is the exact same pattern, the exact same pillow, but it's in this nice, like sage green. And I really like this because I like the variegated look on this one. So I don't know if I'm going to use this one as a stuffer. Look how big that is, how much that fluffed up. I don't know if I'll use this as a stuffer or as an actual pillow, perhaps out on the porch on the recliner, but I have other pillows that I got for that. But again, this green one, now the green one was a little bit cheaper. It sold for $11, but I paid a little bit more for it because of the color. There's a lot of people bidding on this, and I knew what I was willing to pay for it, so I paid $7 for this one. But I still saved $4. So that was a pretty good saving. So between the two, I saved $10. So it was like I almost got this one for free, basically. Again, waterproof finish. You can see how it has that. I like it. Let's put you up there for now, Bubby. All right. And then I got one of these. Now, this is another pillow. This one is blue. This one I intentionally got to go out on the porch on the glider. The two-seated swing seat. Glider. Yeah. Whatever it's called. So this one is not quite as thick. It is pretty thick, but I like the striping on it. It's got a little bit of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of white, and the background is blue, and this is like a denim blue. But if you look at that material, it's got a nice grain to the material, so I really like that. It's got a very nice weave to it. You can put it this way or you could put it this way. Again, this is a 12 by 12. This one sells for $10, but this one I got for $4. So I saved $6. That's better, right? Saved 60% on this particular pillow. So this one is going out on the two-seated glider. Now, you asked me, why am I getting cushions for the glider? Well, I like to turn sideways on the glider and put my feet up. So I wanted to have something behind my back and not be resting on the arm, on the metal arm. This is the best way to avoid the arm. Plus, it's attractive. Okay, question answered? Okay, well, let's see what else I got. All right, you heard me talk about this in the last video, that I had gotten another storage item from a different vendor. Yesterday, you saw the pull-out rack, or not yesterday, but the last video, Temu only video. You saw the pull-out rack that was metal, the narrow one that I'm debating on where I want to put it. Well, when I ordered this particular storage item and I looked at it carefully last night, that kind of made my decision for me. So this one is an expandable lid organizer. This will hold 40 plus lids. Look at this. You can see everything it holds. It has the pull-out handle in the front. It's completely expandable. The two pieces go across each other. These little dividers in between these things, they're adjustable. You can see the slots there. You can set them where you want to set them. It has a universal fit. BPA free, very quick to set up. It'll hold 40 plus lids. So this is what it looks like. Let's give it a closer look. Now this is a little bit wider. Obviously, it's almost twice as wide as the other one, but it gives me everything I need. Gives you this little packet, Utopia, the feel good promise, information onto where you can contact them. I have no idea what's inside this little thingy here. And it says, woohoo for you. We'll see. But it gives you information on how to set it up, how to connect it. Again, it's a no-brainer. You can get organizing helps, and if you need, you want to join their Woohoo Club, it's got some information on the inside of this. All right, here's your tray. Starts out this small, which is really not all that small. The measurements are not on the box, but if I had to guess, I'd say this is a good 10 to 11 inches across. And at this point, it's probably about 14 inches long, and it extends quite a bit. And I pulled it out way too far. All right, let me get it back in there. There we go. Okay, I pulled it past this lock point. That was not smart. Okay. That's about as far as you want to expand it, which is probably about 20 inches, maybe even a little bit more. But that's how far it's out. Now, this is sturdy, hard plastic. And to set it up, here's your pack of dividers. That's all there is to it. Let me get in here. And these are hard plastic as well. They're curved. And they have this little ridge on them. Can you see this ridge right here? They have this little ridge. So when you put them in, I don't know if you heard that or not, but they snap into place. Let me take that end off. They snap into place so that they don't fall out. So wherever you snap them in is where they're going to stay, but you can pull them right back out when you want to. So it comes with, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It comes with 8 of these heavy-duty dividers. This is what I'm going to use for my lids. It only makes sense, right, to use this for my lids, and then I will be making use of the metal container, or the metal slide, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to slide this back together. I'll make use of the metal slide for my silicone drawer, but this is pretty heavy duty, and this is definitely going to help me organize my pantry. It is a little wider, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. That just means I can put more stuff in here, and I'll have to figure out which shelf I want to put it on. I don't know, because it doesn't pull out. I'm still going to have to reach in. So what I might do is I might actually put it on the bottom shelf and then move my cookware or bakeware that I don't use very often up to the upper shelf so that I don't have to worry about reaching in and out. Again, with this one, it will not slide in and out. I have to be able to reach in to get things, but I still think it's going to work perfectly for me. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's stick that over there. That's a pretty good deal. Now, what did I pay for that? MSRP on that is $15.99 at Target. I paid $10. Not a great savings, but a savings nonetheless. I have not been able to find anything of this quality or this design at Temu, Shein, Amazon, whatever, for the $10 that I paid. So I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. All right, let's see what we got next in here. Next, candles. A 2-pack of wildwood candles, scented candle with, it says notes, meaning hints of wood smoke and forest moss. Now, as you can imagine, being in a tiny home and having so much wood in my home, wooden ceilings, raw wood cabinets, I'm going to be putting wood on the walls behind me. I don't want open flame candles that are not in some sort of a container. So having these in a container is a plus. Let me separate them. They got this little, whatever you call that, 2-sided sticky stuff on it to hold them together. All right, let's take a sniff. Ooh, that actually smells good. This smells like a mild musk. Does that make sense to you? Holy cow. It's almost like musk and sandalwood put together. Oh, that smells so good. So when I have power outages, it's important that I be able to have light, just in case some of my battery operated or my solar operated flashlights or security lights are not working. It's important to me to be able to have candles. And if they have a mild scent like this, that's really good. So this is, again, Room Essentials, which is a Target brand. It's not a really big candle. I would say if you were to take, this is about the equivalent of like maybe 6 tea lights. That's how much is in here. It's 3 ounces. And there's 2 of them. The lids are nice and tight and metal, not plastic. The tins are metal. They're just wrapped. So I like the scent of this. I'm great with this. This set of candles sells for $14.99. And again, I got this for $10. So again, not the greatest savings, but still savings on them. On this particular auction shop, because they do random pulls, you never know. You don't know in advance how many of anything is in the box they're pulling from. They got these massive single boxes that are equivalent to the size of a pallet. One box on a pallet that they're literally diving into. They don't know how many they have of these because they don't empty these pallets in advance and put everything on a nice rack so they can see how many they have, or that you can see how many they have. They don't do it like SuperBuys does it, or like some of the other auction sites do. They just dig in. So you never know. And because you don't know, there's a lot of people trying to get their hands on this. Again, I had put in a pre-bid on this. My max was $10. That's what I happened to win at when the timer went off. So you will pay a little bit more because of that. All right. Post-it notes. These post-it notes, there is 2,160 post-it notes in here. There's 24 packs. You can see four, 4 different corners. 6 packs per corner. There's 24 packs in here. Each pack has 90. These are your standard post-it notes. What can you say? Post-it notes are post-it notes, right? But this is a massive pack. This pack sells for $14.99, and I got it for $13. So again, didn't know how many of them they had. There was a lot of people sniping. I had put in a pre-bid on this, believe it or not, at $14, and I got it for $13. So not a real big savings on it, but still a deal. I'm going to be splitting that up. I'm going to keep some of it for me, and I'm going to, well, probably half of it for me, and half of it will go to my community office to help them out in their office. All right. And this is a 2-box order. The last thing in this particular box, let me get down here to it. This is a grow kit. Have you ever seen these? Organic herb grow kit. It comes with 2 mason jars, and they're glass. They're not plastic. 2 mason jars and everything in here that you need. This is for basil and mint. Now, I don't like mint, but I do like basil, and I do go through a lot of basil, and I think it would be great to be able to have fresh basil growing on the windowsill in the kitchen. I'm going to pull these jars out so that you can see. Pull them right out of the box. Don't need the box anymore. These are your standard 32-ounce mason jars. I love the color. Excellent color. Nice metal tops. Growing tips and everything are up here in the tops. let's get this open. Here's your liner. There's your growing medium that you put in here. Plant in, and you got to be careful because it is a little dusty. Let's see if I can get it back in there so I don't get dust all over the place. I just dusted down in the bottom of the jar. Okay, my hand fits in there. Fortunately, I got my hand back out. So it gives you all the instructions on how to plant it, how high to fill your water, your well in it, what you can expect. So all your instructions are here. It gives you your fertilizer. Comes with your fertilizer, and it comes with your seeds, your little pack of seeds. Now, this one is basil, and you plant the whole thing in this. So when I put this all together and plant this, I will show you the process. I'll either do a little video as I do it, or I'll take pictures as I do it, but I will show you the whole process of getting that done. But I love that it comes in the jars that I can grow it in. Again, hydroponics, growing in water, not in soil. Love it. Absolutely love it. I have decent sized windowsills so that this size jar fits perfectly on my kitchen windowsill. So not only do I have my pothos and my English ivy hanging up in the upper part of the window, I'll be able to have these on the lower part of the window and just have everything growing. But again, I'm not going to grow the mint. I will grow basil. I don't know what I'm going to do with the mint seeds yet. What I might do, if you guys like mint, because it's a sealed package, I might just put the mint in the giveaway box so that somebody can get mint seeds. And I will put in there all the instructions and everything, on how to plant your seeds, because you don't have to do them hydroponics. You can put them in regular soil and grow them that way. But if you want, guys, let me know. You want me to, I can just toss it. I can toss the packet and not use it. I'm going to split the basil up in between these two so that I have double basil growing. So if you want me to save the mint seeds and put that in for you guys, just say giveaway box. And if you don't care, if you don't say giveaway box, then I'll probably just toss them. But what did I pay for that grow kit? That grow kit on Target sells for $22.95 on Target. I paid $10. Right? So that's that box. Now, this particular box, the date of the show on this was July 15th. I did not receive this box until yesterday, July 27th. It took 12 days just to come from Pensacola, Florida, which is kind of kitty corner it's the very next state to where I live. It's a 5.5, maybe 6 hour drive, only because that part of Florida, from where I'm on the border near Florida, I'm closer to, actually, this is come from Pensacola, a kid from Jacksonville. I'm close to Pensacola, but to drive all the way across state is about 6 hours to get to Jacksonville. So to come that short distance, it took 12 days. It took 6 days before I even got notification that the package was shipped. So there was delayed shipping. Not sure why it took 6 days for me to get notification or for it to be say, hey, your order is packed, it's on its way. But that's what it took. And then it took another 6 days. I guess there was a weekend in there. But anyway, 12 days from show date to receipt. Now, the second order I got from these guys, well, actually, this was the very first order. No, actually, that was the first order. That was the very first time I'd ever been to their shop and placed an order. So as you know, with me, most of the time, I think you can tell, I will go back to a shop a second time and look for different products, maybe purchase different products, but at the very least, watch the show so that I get a good feel for what's going on with that particular shop. So I did go back and I did do a second order. And this is the second order, these sheets. Now, as I stated early on, there are 5 items missing from this, but they're bigger items. And when I communicated with them about it, it took them 2 days to get back to me with a response. And they basically just said, well, because of the size of the items, they put them in a second box. They provided me the tracking number and say, it's coming. You should have it in the next couple of days. All right. So that just adds more time to this. This particular show was July 17th. This was received on July 26th. So this one took 9 days to reach me. And the other half of it still is not here. Today's day 13. I still have not received it. Shipping is not quick. All right. Let me get into this box and show you what I got on my second order. And you're going to see some differences here, right? Let's start with this. This is another grow kit. It's the exact same one as I got. So as you know, the grow kit does sell for, on Target, as I said, it does sell for $22.95. On this particular one, I paid $10 for this. This was a little bit more of a deal. So it's the exact same thing. It's the mint and basil, exactly as I showed you. So I now have 4 jars that will line my shelf, my windowsill in the kitchen, and that I can grow my spices on it. Now, I'm not going to grow mint. What I will pick up, I might pick up some rosemary. I might pick up some parsley seeds, some thyme seeds, not sure what, and I might just use these for plants, for some of the plants that I told you that you can grow in water, decorative plants. But these are grow kits. I do like them. So I will definitely be using them as grow kits. All right, so let's get that one back there. Okay, now I got 2 pillar candles. And these are unscented, just regular pillar candles. But as you can see, they have a striping to them. They actually look a little bit like, almost like a log. Let me cut one open. So we can take a look at this. Okay. So the brown candles typically cost about $3 a piece. They have no scent whatsoever. They're about 4 inches tall. They have like this. Can you see how it looks twisted? They call it a twist. It's got some bumps and bruises, which happens to typical candles during shipping, especially when they're not in a box. I'm not too worried about that. Again, these are the perfect size. These will fit down into a drinking glass so that I can kind of protect them and have them to burn. I got a set of 2. 2 of them cost me $6. 2 of them sell for $6. I paid $3. So it was like buy one, I got one free. So my cost on my bid, my winning auction was $3, and this has a value of $6. Got there. And the next one is, where are you? There they are. White bubble candle. They look like little bubbles. And again, I'll open one for you. I think I will if I can find what I just did with my scissors. White bubble candles. Come on. As you can see, I like to get a variety. I might spend, some of these shows run anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours to 5 hours, and I might hang around for the entire show to see what's there. So these are just white bubble candles. No scent. What? Actually, wait, they have a mild scent. I would have to call this something like a very mild, like clean linen scent, like fresh sheets. Does that make sense? So that's what I would call these. Now, these sell at Target because they're all bubbled and a little fancy for $7 each. I got the two of them for a total of $3. So for $6 versus 14, excuse me, for $3 for the two of them versus 14 if I had bought them individually. So that was a great deal on these. Nobody else wanted them. I thought they were very cool. I can still put them in a larger container, or I can leave them freestanding on a saucer or a disc of some sort if I do need the open flame. I'm just going to have to be very careful about where I put them. But I like them. I'm happy with those. Let's see what else we got in this box. Okay. We got. Now, with all the measuring and the cutting and everything I have to do, obviously I'm using pencils when I break out my circular saw or I have to measure for things, wood that I'm cutting, whatever. I didn't have a pencil sharpener, and I was getting a little tired of trying to sharpen them with a blade, which I can do, but it's a pain in the neck. So I got myself a battery-operated pencil sharpener. I'm going to open this. We're going to take a look at this. And this pencil sharpener sells for $8.99. It's made by Westcott. Your pencil goes in the top, so it's pushed down, right? Everything is here. This is where you empty it. Got a nice little clip on there to make it easy to snap on and off. Your battery compartment on the bottom. It takes two AAA batteries from the look of it. Those are little smaller holes, so it takes two batteries to run it, which you all know I've got a ton of batteries. Nice little desktop. It's got a little rubber grip here and a little rubber grip here, so I can set it on the desk and it's not going to damage my beautiful leather top desk. But I thought it was very streamlined and very nice looking, very simple. And I like that it has the two little dips on each side for your fingers so that you can hold it while you're putting your pencil in there if you like it. So again, this sells for $8.99 at Target, and I got it for $4. Decent, right? Not exactly the auction prices that I've come accustomed to at other sites, but it's still a savings, and it got me something that I needed. All right, next, a set of 4 drinking tumblers, plain white. Remember when you go into Pizza Hut, you get those red, everything comes in like those red cups. This is the same size. This is a 20-ounce mug. And there's 4 of them, brand new in bag, which of course I will put in the dishwasher before I use. I'm trying to eliminate as much glassware as I can because I do like to take my beverages outside, but I save a couple of pieces of glassware for when I have company and I want to give them something nice. I put it in the nice glass cups that I have. So on Target, these sell for $10. And I paid $3. So that was a good savings. They are BPA free. They have reinforced in the bottom. You can see the little reinforced edges. Very, very simple. It's just a 20-ounce tumbler. But for the price, I can't complain. $3 for 4 drinking cups. Right? Okay. Next. I have LED hot lights throughout my house. I'm never going to have to change a bulb in any of these things. And I typically don't use them all that often. I use them when I'm recording because they give me good overhead light and not a lot of glare coming from like behind me or whatever. I definitely use it in the kitchen. But around the house, I do have a couple of lamps, like my bedroom lamp, living room lamp, the drop light in the bathroom that use regular bulbs. So I bid on this. 12 bulbs, basic LED, general purpose 60 watt, and this is a GE brand. So this is a good brand. These 12 bulbs sell for $11.99. And again, I didn't get a great deal on them, but I did get them for $10. I still saved $1.99. I didn't have to go out, waste gas, waste time, waste energy, fight the crowd, stand to the cashier, haul everything around, right? Okay. And the last thing in this box came as a set, so to speak. They sold this as a set. At first, I thought they were just going to do like one thing, but then they held them all up. So it's a pack of star plates. And let me see if it'll tell me how many are in here. 20 count. So there's 20 plates in here that have little silver stars on them. And they're a little bit bold, not a lot, as you can see, just a little bit of a bowl shape to them, but they're nice little paper plates. And they came with a 3-pack of napkins. And each pack of napkins has 30 in it. So 90 napkins, 20 plates. This set, they each of these, $3, $3, $3, and $3. So each of these things sell for $3 at Target. So that's $12 in value. I paid $4 for everything. So basically I paid $1 a piece. So this was a really good deal. These are going to go to my community for functions that are coming up. We have like spaghetti night coming up. We have obviously Labor Day functions and other functions coming up. So these are going to get donated to the community. I will get those in the hand of the office manager sometime this week. These are going to stay here with me. Snacks, little sandwiches, little things that I don't want to necessarily dirty a dish for. I'll use a paper plate considering I only paid $1 for 20 of them, right? Okay. So that's for me. So that's all that was in that second box. Now I do have a box missing. Part of this particular order, this box I just went through, has 4 or 5 other items. I am expecting them in a big box because they are bigger items. But let's do a review. Now, let me tell you how I review a shop before I do a rating on this particular shop. My 5 stars, each star has a meaning. And this is what I would like you to consider when you go to WhatNot and you're deciding whether or not you want to shop at a particular spot there. Do you want to start bid and get involved in their auctions? Do you want to follow them? These are the things that I look at. All right. So the first thing that I look at is the personality. Okay. The seller's attitude. Are they friendly? Are they pushy? Are they passive? Are they making it clear that they're all about the money, that they're in your face shouting at you and saying, that's not enough. I need more. Bid higher, bid higher. So, or if they're like, okay, I'll start this item at $3 and they don't piss and moan and complain about the bid. They'll say, congratulations on your win. So you have to look at the personality. That's the first star that I look at. It's like, am I a match to them? Am I okay with their attitude and the way that they come at their buyers? We know it's all about the money, but you know what? It's our money. And I'm not going to have anybody push me into spending more than I'm willing to spend for any kind of item. They get too pushy. See ya. I'm gone. The next thing I look at is the variety and the presentation. So as you can see, there's quite a variety here, from a storage unit to candles, Post-it notes, light bulbs, cups, big variety. And is that variety attractive to me? All right. Or would that variety be attractive to anyone that I refer to this shop, or that if I recommend this shop, would this variety be enough, where they say, okay, well, I'm going to sit and watch this shop for a while because they have a good variety. Let me see what they pull out. They might pull out something I'm interested in. Okay. So that's the second star. What is the variety and how do they present each of their items? So I might give a half star saying, great, the variety is excellent, half star. The other half of this particular star is how do they present it? Do they give you enough information, or do they just hold it up and go, plates? Well, sometimes that's enough. Like with the candles, it's important that you know, do they have a scent to them? How big are they? How big are they? Whatever information you might want. Or if you're getting something like the grow kits, what's in them? Show me the box so I can see what does it come with. Because if I can't see what it comes with, if they hold it up too fast and all I can see is a blue jar, I don't know if I want to bid on this thing. So presentation is the other half of that particular star. So the variety and the presentation, that makes up one whole star. The price is the next item, the next star that I look at. What do they start their bids at? Are they starting their bids low? $1, $2, $3? Are they starting their bids high? $5, $10? Is their shipping price, because it's always on the screen, is their shipping price exorbitant? Are they barking at you to try to get the price up higher? On an item, it's like, it's too low. I can't sell this for $4. But when you win the auction, guess what? They have to sell it to you for $4. So price is very, very important. And that price includes the item and the shipping. So again, it's a split star. Half of that star is for what they start the bid at, not necessarily what you win it at, because that's up to you, how much you're willing to bid. So where's the starting price come in? Where are they setting their prices at? And the other half of the star is your shipping price. All right, so that's your costs, in other words, make up that third star. The fourth star is their communication. Do they pay attention to the chat? Do they interact with the people in the chat? Do they read what you're putting in the chat? And do they respond to what you put in the chat? If you say, hey, do you have any garden hoses? Do they answer that question? And if they say, yes, we have a garden hose, but then they never show it to you, that's not good communication. Yeah, they answered the question, but, and I must have asked like 5 times, did they have a garden hose? Okay. And then I'd say, you said you had a garden hose. Could you please run it? They're like, yes. Okay, we'll run it. An hour and a half goes by and they still haven't run the garden hose. That's not good service. That's a shop that is so focused on the almighty dollar that they really don't care what your requests are. They're going to go through and try to sell whatever they can sell, whatever's on their agenda. And again, I get it. All right. But that's not the kind of place I want to be at. Because if I ask for something and they have it, that should be an indication to them that I'm a buyer. Run that item. Let me bid on that item. And probably more people will bid as well. So their communication. And communication is not just during the auction. Communication is also when you have an issue, like my package with 5 missing items in it, my order with 5 missing items in it. How is their communication? How quick are they to respond? How accurately are they to respond? What's the tone of their response? Are they nasty about it, or are they just like flat and kind of monotone with nothing in there, just straight business-like about it? Are they friendly, courteous, apologetic? What is their communication like? So communication is very important between a buyer and a seller, right? Right. Okay. And then the last thing I look at is shipping. That's the 5th star, is the actual shipping. How long does it take for an item to get me? Because WhatNot requires that their shops ship within a maximum of 3 days. That's fair. That's pretty reasonable considering the volume they do, how many things they have to pack up, how many places and labels they have to do. That takes a lot of time, especially if they're big and busy and they sold a lot. So 3 days is very, very reasonable. So I look at, when did I get my email that says, hey, your item has shipped and here's your tracking number? How long from the date of the show where I made my purchases to the date it was shipped? And then I look at, okay, it was shipped on such and such a date. The tracking number tells you where it's coming from, what city and state it's coming from. How long does it take to get from there to you? Now, you've heard me say The stuff from Tennessee, from SuperBuys, comes within 2 to 3 days of the show, not of when it's packed, of the show. All right, so that's quick. The items I got from Arizona came within like 3 or 4 days, if I remember correctly. The items from Arkansas came within like 4 or 5 days total. So that's all quick shipping. But when I come across a site or a shop where I don't even get shipping notification for 7 days, 6 or 7 days before it ships out, I don't get my items for anywhere from 9 to 12 days. And then I still have outstanding items for 13 and 14 days after a show. That's what I look at. So that's how I break down the 5 stars. Hopefully you took notes. If I remembered to, you will have seen that up on the screen as to how I break down how many stars a shop gets. So let's review WhatNot. How many stars am I giving them? Well, I'm giving them no stars for shipping speed. None. Excessive delay in shipping it out, misdirected shipping items, delay in it getting to me after it supposedly has been shipped out, considering how close it is to me, that it's only in Jacksonville, which is the very next bordering state. That's not a postal issue. That's a shipping issue, because the people who box it and label it and get it to the post office, it's their responsibility to get it there timely. So they're not getting any stars for shipping. Communication, they are not getting any stars for communication. They ignore the chat. They may do a quick 1-word hurried response if they even see or read your communication in the chat. And then they don't follow through. There's absolutely no follow through. And it wasn't just me, because I stayed on this one particular show for 2.5 hours, and they did this to everybody that asked questions or that was in the chat. So no stars for that. Price, they're going to get half a star. They'll get half a star for their shipping price, because their shipping price was the standard $9.71 on your first item, and then free shipping plus taxes for the rest of your items. So that was standard. That was as expected. So they'll get a half star for that particular part of it on the price. They will not get the other half of the star on the price of the items, because they did start their auctions a little bit higher, anywhere from $3 to $5, and because they do not run their auction in such a way that you can see how many more of an item they have. Do you have to bid on this item? Or if you really want an item, is this your only chance to get this item? They don't dig in to say, oh, I have 3, 4, 5 of these things, so that you can take your time bidding. And if somebody wants to go crazy running up the bid, they can. You have an opportunity to get it at a lower price. So they do not structure their show to where it's in the best interest of the buyers. They're doing this financially in their best interest. And I get that. I know they're trying to run a business and they're trying to make a buck. But again, as I said, this is my buck. This is your buck. And I don't want to spend a certain amount. So they're only getting a half star on the price, and that's for the shipping part of it. Variety and presentation, they're going to get a half star. They'll get a half star for variety, and they will not get a star for presentation. This is what I saw, and I want you to go there and get your own opinion of it. But after watching it for a couple of hours, they dig in the box, pull it on, and say, okay, I got this. And they'd hold it up to the camera. Half the time, they wouldn't even tell you what you're looking at, all right? And then they would just start the bidding at like $3 or $5. And no point in asking a question, because they don't look at the chat or they don't respond to the chat. And by the time they do, somebody else who's willing to buy something without that information has already bought it. So they're not getting the other half of the star. They're not getting the presentation half of the star on this. And the seller attitude, they are not getting any stars on the seller attitude. I found this shop to be borderline offensive to me. Now, that might not be your opinion. And obviously, that is how they do things. And it's up to them how they do things. I get that. All right. But how they do things is not to my liking. The father, Doug, he barks at you constantly. You know, you'll ask for something and he'll literally stop the auction to yell at you for asking a question. Now, well, I'm not here to, kowtow to you and give you what you want. What comes out of this box is what I have to sell. You just have to watch the auction. Well, you know what? They've been running that auction, and I know they probably had things that didn't sell. So what do you have in the back corner that didn't sell? If I'm asking you for something, I don't know if you've already shown it. I haven't watched all your shows. I don't know what you have back there that you haven't sold from previous pallets. So if you want to sell something, answer the question. It's that simple. Don't you stop the show and yell at your shoppers, yell at your buyers simply because they're making an inquiry as to a product. They're trying to give you business, right? When we do that, we're trying to give our business to this person, to this shop. They're not answering my question, then they're not going to get my business. Their attitude to me is it's curt, it's short, which I find to be rude. All right, that's just my take on it. That's just my opinion. All this is just my personal opinion. You will have to form your own opinion on this particular shop. So overall, this shop gets 1 star from me and 0 recommendation. I like to think I know my viewers well enough to know that kind of what you like versus what I like, or what some of you might enjoy versus what I enjoy, the shopping experiences. As I said, the big thing for me, the failures, is the attitude and the presentation, the delay in the shipping, the poor communication with the people. It's just, it's a hustle. They literally came across as they were hustlers. That's the first impression that I got. That's the first word that came to mind, was that they're in this for the hustle. They're just sell, 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 sell. They don't care, but yet they'll yell at you and try to get you to raise the price, try to guilt you into spending more. That's not my kind of shop, guys. I'm not going back to that shop. I have actually, I was following them so I could watch there. I have since unfollowed that shop. And when I get the last part of my order from them, my business with them is done. So it's up to you what you want to do, but that's my honest opinion. And that's how I evaluate any shop that I go by. Now, the other shops that I did give 5 stars to, you can see how those shops met all criteria for all 5 stars, that they did not fall short in any area whatsoever. None, right? So that's my order from DoubleDTreasureBarn. 1 star. It is up to you whether you want to watch them, shop them. I don't make that decision for you. I make my own decisions, and I present you, as always with any place that I shop, I present you with what I see. I try to use a unbiased mind. I don't know these people from Adam. So I'm as new to every shop I look at as you are. But I'm trying to give you a heads up as to what I see when I shop on WhatNot and what shops I'm seeing that at. All right. So that's it for WhatNot. We're almost at an hour. I want to wrap this up with a couple of things. The first thing is, and we'll kind of call this what's going on just around the corner. It's just a little bit. The month of July is running out. Oh my gosh. I'm recording this in July, but you guys are probably not seeing this until sometime in August because it's pre-recorded. Now, for the month of July, I have been doing a subscriber spotlight in the description box. That subscriber spotlight has been Brenda's blingy treasures. Okay. Brenda's paparazzi jewelry. Some of you have gone there. You've shopped from her. I am so happy that you're pleased with what you got. I love when I get emails from you guys saying, hey, I got some earrings from Brenda and they're gorgeous. I absolutely love them. That you're very happy with everything. That Go, Brenda. That's all I can say. So her information may still be in the description box, even though she was highlighted for the month of July. For the month of August, I am going to basically, my highlight is going to be SuperBuys. I am a major fan of SuperBuys on WhatNot, of all the different stores I've shopped. Because if I could give them more than 5 stars, I would give them more than 5 stars. 5 stars is what my criteria is sent on. But if I could give them the 1,000 stars or whatever, the way they set up the products, the way they pre-set up and get ready for each of their shows, and they have all their items displayed on racks. And if you see something behind one of them, you can ask, and you know what? Boom! They are right on that, showing you the item. If they need to, they will open the box and show you what's in it. They'll read you a good description. Their prices are excellent. Their shipping is ridiculously fast and expertly packed. So my subscriber spotlight, you're going to see a lot of videos coming up from SuperBuys, but you're not going to see duplicates of what I've gotten before. I've gotten a whole new stuff, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big boxes sitting here from SuperBuys. 2 more that I'm waiting for. That'll be 7. I've got another SoldBySam box that I have to open. And of course, the missing box from Double D Treasures, which I will show you what's in it. But that's not going to change my rating any, because obviously that box is already late and I've already dealt with the communication issue, the prices, etc. Okay. So that's that part of the subscriber spotlight. Now, if you recall, a few videos ago, I had received in my family mail at my new post office box, the first thing I ever got was that 200 seeds of succulents from one of you guys. Still don't know who, but thank you again. And in my last video you saw, I had gotten those nice little terracotta colored plastic planters, those low 4-inch planters. I had gotten that set of 6 for the succulents. So this morning I planted those succulents. So I'm going to pop up the little video here and I'm going to walk you through it as, you know, as you see it, so to speak. So basically, and it's going to run over here on the side, probably somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, the first thing I did is I put a very slight layer of stone in the bottom, just a little bit, because there was an enormous amount of drain holes in the bottom, and I didn't want the soil to be coming through all those holes. So instead of getting a liner and lining them, I just put stone in the bottom. And then I filled them with the good potting soil up to about a 1/2 inch from the top. Because remember, succulents are very superficial. All right. They don't grow tall typically. See how some of them will sprout up a little thing that'll stick up out of nowhere. But for the most part, the average succulent might get 2 inches tall. So you don't want it too low in the pot. You want it up to the top so that you can actually see it and enjoy it. So I filled all the pots. Then I watered all the pots, and I took a spoon and I made sure that the moisture was evenly distributed in the soil. Then I sprinkled the seeds, and you can't count these seeds. There's no way, they're too tiny. So I just had to do it by eye, and I just sprinkled some seeds very lightly on the top. You don't have to cover them. That's the thing with succulent seeds. You don't have to, and you don't want to, because they're so delicate, so tiny. If you get one seed that's like noticeably bigger, you can just gently with your finger tap it into the soil, but everything else you just sprinkle on the top of the soil. Then I took my spray bottle and I moistened the top to kind of wet the seeds down a little bit. Covered it with saran wrap, with cling wrap, because what I'm making is a little greenhouse. This will help those seeds sprout literally within a couple of days. they should start sprouting because it keeps the moisture in. They get the heat and the warmth, and it germinates the seeds so much faster, just as if you were germinating vegetable seeds and making like this little greenhouse effect. I don't need a grow light to put on them. You can, if you're doing this inside, you can put a grow light on them, but I have them outside on the big storage chest that's out there. And they're all going to get just as much sunshine as my cherry tomatoes do sitting out there. So those have been planted. I will keep an eye on them. I don't know if I'll remember what date. I made a note here for myself as to what date that I actually planted them. We'll see how long it takes them to take off. Some succulents grow overnight. They grow so quick. It's ridiculous. In a matter of like 3 weeks, you can see what I call little hens and chicks. You can see the smaller ones be like the size of a quarter. Some of them grow so rapidly. Others take months before they get any kind of size. But once they grow, the great thing about succulents is you can literally just pick up the succulent because the roots are very superficial. You can gently just pick up the succulent and transplant it any place you want. These succulents, once they're grown, the majority of them are going to go into my side garden next year through what I'm going to be setting up out there, and I'll show you guys that eventually. But so that's going to be a big surprise for you. But I have what I'm going to be doing, what I call a flowing or a cascading type of garden out there. And these succulents are going to be scattered in certain areas throughout that. So I can't wait. I had hens and chicks and succulents in the ground in upstate New York that snow, ice, sub-zero temperatures, whatever, every spring, they were still there, right back, healthy, spreading out, self-propagating, just getting more and more of them, growing like crazy. Never had to touch them, never had to weed them, never had to feed them. Succulents are like a weed. They just grow really, really well. And as you saw in the last video, I got those crazy little yellow jellyfish type looking planters. I'm going to put a couple of probably succulents into those. When they get big enough, I'll just put a cup of some sort of soil, maybe a small like Dixie cup or whatever of soil, cut it down so it fits, put the succulent coming out of the mouth. I think that looked pretty cool. I don't know. Any ideas you have for those funny little alien things? Let me know, but they'll both be going to go out on the porch. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this. It's just a touch over an hour. Be sure to give this a big thumbs up, share it, get it out into the universe so that everybody can see this particular shop. They can find out about the succulents. There's going to be more going on around the corner, but as you can imagine, everything that's going on around the corner is drastically slowed down right now. Even though this is pre-recorded and you're seeing this probably in early or mid-August, it's still only been a heartbeat since my heart broke. And I'm not there yet. You'll know when I am. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I am. Oh, a lot of you are still asking, and you're very, very curious because it's been just a tad over a month on my weight loss journey, and you've been wondering, how am I doing? I am down 9.8 pounds in 4 weeks, and my doctor did want me to lose approximately 10 pounds a month. I call that being on track. However, I have lost 11 inches of body size between my upper arms, my waist, my hips, my thighs, my legs, all those areas that you measure. I've lost 11 inches. And that's not just from the weight loss. That's also from being out there shoveling and cleaning up the edge of the road and doing all the bending and the walking and the landscaping and everything else that I do outside, trying to keep myself busy, getting in twice as many steps every day as I used to. Before, I was lucky if I got in 2,000 steps a day. Now I'm getting between 4,000 and 5,000 steps a day, which I know for some of you that's not a lot, but I got really bad knees. So I'm hoping as the weight continues to come off, and it will continue to come off, right? Right. It'll be less weight on my knees. But if you want to find out what 9.8 pounds or what 10 pounds feels like, grab a gallon of milk. A gallon of milk on average weighs 8 pounds. You just stand there and hold that gallon of milk with your arm up like this. Hold that gallon of milk for as long as you can. Now add a couple of years of holding that on your body, and you'll be able to see the difference. I feel the difference. My energy level is starting to come back up again. My clothes feel better on me. I feel better in my own skin. So I know by the time I lose all the weight I want to lose, or that I need to lose, I'm going to be doing good. So if you're not already subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. Pretty please. Not a bad place to be. I can be serious. I can be funny. I can be vulnerable. I can be in your face. I can be a whole bunch of things. You never know what you're going to get in here. You never know what you're going to see. And yes, guys, I do have more Temu coming. I have 4 or 5 orders coming from Temu that they're still lost to in customs. So please stay hydrated. Above all else, please stay sweet. And I will catch you soon with more of something. Love you. Bye.